Hey guys, it's Julia from Notch and Swatch, and today we have a quick tutorial for you how to make scrunchies. So the things you need to get started to make your scrunchies are fabric. Quilting cotton works great, but everybody loves a velvet scrunchie. Pins, paper to make your pattern out of, nice pair of fabric scissors, elastic, which 1/4 inch elastic works best, but you can make it work with 1/2 inch or even 3/4 inch, and some safety pins. First, you're going to grab your tracing paper, or computer paper works great if that's what you have around the house, and your pencil and a ruler. I'm going to use a marker so that you can see it. I'm going to draw a nice straight line across my paper, because if you want your scrunchy, it needs to be a nice long rectangle. I'm going to make it about 4 inches wide. And the width of my rectangle, or the length of my rectangle, is 24 inches long. That can be varied, but generally I like my scrunchies to be over 20 inches long for ultimate scrunch. Next, you'll cut out your pattern piece. And here you have your pattern piece, 4 inches wide by about 24 inches long. Next, you're going to lay out your fabric on a single layer, because that's all you need. Grab your pins and your pattern, place it right in the middle there so it's completely on the fabric, and pin it in place. Now we're going to cut our pattern out. And now your pins can come out. And we don't need this anymore. Now you have your fabric, and you're going to lay it with the right side facing up. So this would be the good side of your fabric. My fabric is solid color, so there is no right or wrong side, but right side up. Taking your pins, you're going to fold it hot dog style with the right sides together and the raw edges aligned, and pin to get ready to sew. All right, let's go sew. Now we're going to sew down the edge where our pins are, which is the raw edge of the fabric. Line it up on the side of the presser foot. Don't forget to backstitch. And work your way all the way down. Now, the next step I love to do with the safety pin, because we're going to turn our tube right side out. You can use your fingers or even a chopstick if that's your preferred method. Open your safety pin, put it through one layer of your tube and close it. Take your safety pin, stick it to the inside of your tube, and start scrunching it along. You use your right hand to pull the fabric back, and then you hold the safety pin as you push it along. when you get to the other end, grab that safety pin and pull it out. And you have a nice, clean tube of fabric. Now you're gonna wanna grab your elastic. I buy a big roll because we make a lot of scrunchies here. And you're gonna wanna measure out 10 inches. That measurement is because our wrists usually float somewhere around 6 or 7 inches. And I like to add a little bit because I actually knot my elastic after this step. So that there. You're gonna grab your safety pin again and put it through the end of your elastic so that you have something to hold on to. Grab your tube, and this is the trickiest part of a scrunchie. You're gonna wanna hold on to one end of your elastic. I usually like to hook it in my finger. As you do the same thing you did before with the safety pin, work it through the tube of fabric. Because the elastic is shorter than our tube of fabric, it's gonna start to scrunch up. You work all the way down until you get your safety pin again. I like to take my safety pin off for this step. I take my 2 ends of elastic. Easiest way to do this is a little double knot. I check to make sure it fits on my wrist. And then we're gonna close it up. To close up this method of scrunchie making, you're gonna take one side of the tube and fold it to the inside so that we have a nice finished edge. And then take the other side of your tube and the extra elastic and sit everybody inside that nice folded edge. I like to grab a pin, stick a pin in it so that I know I'm catching the whole thing, and then back to the sewing machine for the last step. Now you're gonna sew right where we pinned, which is catching all of the layers of the scrunchie. You're gonna stick it underneath your presser foot, lower your presser foot, take that pin out so that we don't accidentally sew over it. And we're gonna work forward, do a little back stitch, and then go across. And that's it. Take it out. And as I always tell my students, you gotta give it a haircut. So, as you can see, we can get all different shapes of scrunchies when we use different patterns. This scrunchie is super skinny. We used a long and skinny pattern piece. The length stayed the same, but the width changed. This was my original scrunchie pattern, about 4 inches wide, and it gave me a scrunchie like this. And finally, if you find your scrunchie has too much scrunch, you can make your length a little bit shorter, but you don't really want to go under 10 inches. This is about 14 inches long. And you get a little bit less scrunch. Thanks for watching my simple scrunchie tutorial. Any questions you have, please ask. I'm Julia of Old Spool Sewing Studio in beautiful Brielle, New Jersey, and this has been an Options Watch production. Always backstitch. Throw it down, sister. Cool.